What's going on, everybody? It's Trev the Dev here with the first video of a new YouTube series. We're doing a Madden 08 franchise mode with the Oakland Raiders. Now the Las Vegas Raiders, but obviously back in 2008 they were in Oakland. Picking it up here in training camp with some of the skills drills, which definitely one of the best things that would, that they had back in these older games. Um, Done a few of them. They're fun to play, but a little bit boring to watch, especially when I don't have any background music, which I have muted for what should be obvious reasons. Can't be too careful. Uh, First episode here, we're going to go over the team. I'm going to take a look at some of the competition in our division. Got the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the San Diego Chargers. And we'll finish out doing the remainder of the training camp drills and talk to you a little bit more about my offensive philosophy, kind of what I kind of want to do with this franchise, and we'll go from there. This is my first YouTube video, so appreciate any feedback you guys have on the series. Let me know your thoughts on the series, what you want to see with it. Anything that it pops in your head, hey, we want to see like a mid-season MVP, or maybe put together some highlight reels. I'm open to any ideas that would make the series a little more fun, more engaging. Still am testing out some of my audio settings, so I apologize if there is any audio imbalances, if my voice is too loud, the game's too loud. I've been playing around with it. I think I found a mix that I like, but you never know. Anyways, that being said, we'll jump right in, take a look at the depth chart for the season. Now, if you don't remember, the 2008 Raiders were not very good. Obviously, the 2007 Raiders weren't very good either, being that they ended up with a number one overall pick. Took Jamarcus Russell out of LSU. Didn't have a great NFL career. Not that much should be obvious, but man, 2008, not too bad. Got a cannon of an arm, C99 throw power, 86 throw accuracy, not too bad. I did do a couple of drills off camera, which is why his ratings are a little bit higher than the default roster. I'm playing on version 1.0 with basically no changes to the roster overall. I made a couple players here and there a little bit better to reflect, more accurately the current NFL landscape. A couple quarterback upgrades, making Aaron Rodgers better, stuff like that. Quarterback. We got Jamarcus Russell here. Obviously, we want to roll with him as our starter for the season. Decent scrambling stats. He's got 74 speed, and I think he's got a pretty decent break tackle. Yeah, 81. That's a big dude, 6'6", 265. So good. Some rollouts, shotgun. No read action in this version of the game, which is fine. But for backups, we got the old man himself, Josh McCown. I think he just signed a contract with the Texans, actually, in real life. Recording this on November 7th, 2020. And then Andrew Walter. I think he was their starter, maybe, back in 2007. So you can see why they got the number one overall pick. Moving on into the halfbacks, we've got Lamont Jordan, Dominic Rhodes, Justin Fargas, and then Michael Bush. Lamont Jordan, he got nothing special. He's pretty good. He kind of fits the mold of what I'm going for. Big bruiser type back. I'm not one to want to run a speedy guy in my offense. I prefer the guy who can go between the tackles. Run over a defensive back or two, stuff like that. Dominic Rhodes, nice change of pace, shifty guy, but no breakaway speed. Justin Fargas, I don't know how much use he'll be getting. He could fit into the offense a little bit better as we go on, but I do plan to use Michael Bush a little bit more. Again, he's that same mold as Lamont Jordan. I do have some formation subs where he is the halfback. So, yeah. Fullbacks, we actually got two pretty good fullbacks here, Justin Griffith and Zach Crockett. Not sure why they're carrying two guys, but I expect Justin Griffith to be a fairly big part of our offense. I like to run 11 or 21 personnel quite a bit. Throw to the flats, the fullback dives, stuff like that. So, I expect him to get maybe 35, 45 touches through the year. Could be a big part of our offense. Wide receivers, I'd say mediocre is a good word. We got two borderline number two receivers in Jerry Porter and Travis Taylor. I actually don't know who Travis Taylor is. I remember Jerry Porter from way back when. Decent speed. And, 6'2", 6'1". My ideal wide receiver is a 6'4" burner, a la Randy Moss. But fortunately, the Raiders, for whatever reason, felt the need to trade him to New England. And, 2008 New England offensive stats. That's all that needs to be said about that. Johnny Lee Higgins, I think he was their third or fourth round rookie in real life. Good kick returner. I don't think he did much in real life, but I like him in this game. He's one of my more favorite players to use. I was always the Raiders back in the day, and put him at the slot. He's got some speed. Doug Gabriel and Mike Williams. Again, nothing special, but what are you asking for your fourth and fifth guys? I'd say they're good enough. And then we got Ronald Curry. I don't have him out there. I like Mike Williams a little bit better. He's a little taller, but I don't really expect to run a whole lot of five wide this season. Tight ends, you got Zach Miller. I think he might have been their second round rookie. Could have been a third round rookie as well. He's also one of the guys that's a little better. Did one of the training camp drills with him. So I like to use my tight ends a lot in my offense. He's got good catching. I anticipate, we're going to throw the ball to him quite a bit this season. Your two backups, John Madsen and Randall Williams, also nothing special. Unfortunately, neither of them are really what you would describe as a blocking tight end. I have Madsen there because he's got a little more strength, but run blocking is kind of poor for what you'd expect out of a tight end, especially for your number two guy. So, two tight end sets remains to be seen. Pretty quick, so who knows. Left tackle, Barry Sims. Couldn't tell you who he is, or Mario Henderson. I'm not a Raiders fan, so some of these guys I don't really remember. Same thing with the guards. McCuistion's pretty bad. Decent centers, Newberry and Jake Grove. Maybe I'll end up kicking one of them out to left guard as the season goes on. We're going to hold off on that for now. We don't have a whole lot of offensive line depth, so I just want to make sure that once I sim through preseason, we don't get any injuries or anything like that. Sorry about that. Right guard, same issue. Cooper Carlisle. Right tackle, Robert Gallery. He was a big bust if you don't remember him. Should have been, I think he was the left tackle. Should have been top guy, but decent career. All that being said, good run blocker, which I like on the right side of the line. That's where I like to run a lot of my zone schemes, counters, stuff like that. So, offensive group, nothing special. Gonna have to rely on our running backs quite a bit. Obviously, Russell with the big arm and decent speed. We'll get him out of the pocket and, stretch the field a little bit. I like to run kind of a West Coast concept, inside the tackles, play action, and vertical. Moving on to the defense, we got Tommy Kelly. I think he's a different player, maybe for the Ravens. And Tyler Brayton, both run stoppers. I'm not going to rush the passer. That's fine. We do run a 4-3 scheme, so it would be nice if he could, strong. So maybe he'll get a few sacks here and there, but I'm not expecting him to be a Pro Bowler or anything like that. Just need him to hold the gaps and let our other players do their job. Right end, you got Derek Burgess, probably the best overall player on the team, maybe second best. You got Nnamdi Asomugha and over at corner. So, great player, obviously. We're going to rely on him. We're looking for 12, 15 sacks out of him as the season goes on. If we get that kind of production, be pretty happy with him. Defensive tackles, Warren Sapp, Hall of Famer in the twilight of his career, but, still pretty good. 89 overall, pretty high acceleration for a defensive tackle especially. And Terdell Sands, be the nose tackle, I think that's the one tech in football. Not going to expect him to get to the passer that much. Expecting him to stuff the runs up the middle. And then Antaj Hawthorne. I don't even know who this guy is. He sucks. No offense to you if you're watching. Probably not. Outside linebacker, Sam Williams, mediocre, I'd say. Poor backup. Kirk Morrison over the middle was pretty good. Um, you know, definitely gonna want to have him shore up our run defense. We got some decent guys up there, but not the, you know, on the right side of the defensive line. Don't really have very good run stuffers, so he's gonna be the guy that's gotta take that take that role on. And Robert Thomas, decent for a backup. Over at right outside linebacker, we got Thomas Howard, speedy linebacker. That's real good. I actually have him subbed in on a couple of formations as the edge rusher and kicking in Burgess, taking out Turdell Sands and putting Sapp and Burgess on the inside and quarter and I think maybe a nickel package and then Howard on the end. But he should be pretty good. You know, speedy guy flying all over the place. Probably blitzing every now and then. So hopefully he'll be best linebacker in the group. Cornerbacks, we got Nnamdi Asomugha, great man coverage corner. Didn't have the best end of his career, but for a while there, he's probably, him and Darrelle Revis probably the top two guys for 2-3 years. You just put him on the island and let him go. Fabian Washington, can't ask for much more outside of a number two, real speedy guy. And this is one of the funny things about these older games they had. I don't know what the reason was. I'm guessing it was the guys hadn't signed their pro contracts yet, so they just call him cornerback number 35. He's very, very similar to Fabian Washington. He's a fast guy, not the best, but, he facing a lot of these slot guys, real speedy. Yeah, that's what you're looking for, so. And then after him, Stanford Rout and Chris Carr, so, come next offseason, we're really going to be looking to upgrade. Maybe looks like I have Dwayne Starks, so I can put him in, actually. Move him to the fourth guy. I want cornerback number 35 as my slot guy. If nothing else, but for the memes. Free safety, Stuart Schweigert. Decent player. Solid. Can't complain about it. And then Michael Huff over at strong safety. I think he had a pretty good rookie year, all things considered. Don't think he did much outside of that in his career in the NFL, but we're going to be looking for him to really, kind of shore up the run defense on the right side of the field, left side if you're looking at it from the defensive perspective. Probably going to be the guy I control. I really like controlling the safeties, going in deep and maybe picking off a couple of deep passes, baiting the quarterback, and even coming up, down to the line of scrimmage and stuffing the run. Kicker and punter, you got Sebastian Janikowski and Shane Leckler. Can't ask for much more. These guys are probably, top 5 in terms of kicking punting duo in this game, if not number 1. Kick power is king in this game. Pretty hard to miss, especially when you're a user. So, and then kick returner, we got Johnny Lee Higgins back there. So, our special teams unit, I'd imagine, that's what's going to win us a game or two as we go on. Definitely going to have to win the field position battle. I got Janikowski as the specialist, Randall Williams as a long snapper, and then I think we'll keep in Lamont Jordan as a third down back. He's got a little bit better catching. I don't really need the shiftiness out of my third down back. I just kind of like running them as they are. I think he's a little bit better blocker. Might even consider putting Bush in there. He's got decent blocking stats, especially for just a halfback. He's not a fullback, and he's got 60 pass block, and actually got pretty decent throw power and throw accuracy. You definitely want you guys to play pass protect as a running back when you are a team like ours with a offensive line that's, not great. We'll jump over, just do a real quick run through some of the best players on our division rivals. You got the Broncos, Champ Bailey, Dre Bly, John Lynch, Javon Walker, who, I think he had a couple ACL tears or something like that. He always got hurt, but great defense, some really, really good offensive talent. They had Jay Cutler after his rookie year. Smoking Jay right there on the Broncos. Really, really solid actually. 1 through 4 receivers. I mean, Javon Walker, Brandon Marshall, he had some really good years with the Broncos, and even a good tight end. So, just speeding through their team real quick. They're definitely gonna be tough. I don't know if they're gonna be number one team in the division, because I think that will probably be the Chargers. Chargers, obviously, they had LT. This was 2 years removed from his 31 touchdown season, I believe. I might be off by a year or two. Obviously, a top tier back. We all know LT. And of course, Lorenzo Neal. They also had a real good defense. Sean Merriman, Jamal Williams. I think they had, Luis Castillo down here. And a great offensive line, especially on the left side. You see 4 guys right here, 90 or above. And Antonio Gates and Phillip Rivers. So I think they're probably the best team in the AFC West. They don't have great receivers, but 99 overall running back, 98 overall fullback, 97 overall tight end, and a line that's full of 90s everywhere. Phillip Rivers. I think they're probably going to take the division. Should be a 12, 13 win team. Could be even the number one seed in the AFC. Definitely our main competition for a division. Not that I'm expecting to win the division. Chiefs, it's probably going to be between us and the Chiefs for third place. If I had to pick, I would say the Chiefs. They still got Larry Johnson and Tony Gonzalez, and we don't have anybody of that caliber. So, obviously Johnson got ran to the ground a little bit, but still a great player in this game. Trent Green and Damon Heward, a bunch of old guys in the quarterback room. Not going to win you a lot of games, but certainly not going to lose you a lot of games either. Just dump it off to Tony Gonzalez, and you should be fine. And then real quick, just so you guys can get a good feel of who else is in the NFL and at what stages, just a quick rundown of some of the top guys. Ed Reed, obviously, Peyton Manning, LT, and Champ Bailey, the 99 club right there. A couple other real good players. Tom Brady, 30 years old. Probably still be a 98 in the current edition of Madden. Not that I've played it. Couple great players here. Chad Ochocinco, Urlacher, Steve Hutchinson, Troy Polamalu. So, a lot of nostalgia here. Carson Palmer back when he was an MVP candidate. Just some all-time greats playing in this here iteration of Madden. So, that being said, we'll go into these drills here. Hopefully they won't take too long. I'll probably try to get the gold medal in all Madden for both of them. But yeah. So, doing the swap ball drill here with Michael Huff, trying to get him a little bit better before the season starts. And I'll talk a little bit about our defense. So, we're running a 4-3 with a lot of zone and man blitzes. I'm a big cover 3 kind of base guy. Legion of Boom, Seattle Seahawks back in 2012, 2013. Seems to work pretty well in this game. I do tend to go into a 2-man under or just, man schemes kind of later in the games just to force a habit. But I'd imagine... Oh, can't pick that off. We got 2 great corners, obviously, and pretty good safeties. So, we definitely want to make sure that we're taking advantage of those, positions of strength, and maybe, putting those guys out an island, maybe sending one safety back deep, and who knows, hopefully bringing in some extra pressure or shoring up our run defense with some run blitzes. Offensively, I think I mentioned this when I was going through the depth chart, but I'm a West Coast kind of guy. I guess that's kind of appropriate given that I'm playing with Oakland. Like to run inside runs, dives, some stretches, counters, occasional trap or two. I like to work off of that with play action, throw it to the flats, the fullback, the running back, and Maybe send a guy over the top, try to get one-on-ones with our guys, and obviously with Russell, he can make pretty much any throw that you'd ever ask for in a game. 99 throw power, that goes a long, long way, especially in a game like Madden 08, where the physical attributes are king. Yeah. So my prediction for the year, playing with a slider set that I just found on quick Google search. It's an all-pro, 12 minutes, accelerated clock on. I don't know. Get a decent amount of plays, 60 to 70 per side, which is what you're looking at in a modern NFL game. Maybe a little bit more nowadays with how fast-paced offenses are. But, if I'm being optimistic, I'd say maybe, I don't know, 500 is what we'd be shooting for. Personally, I'd like to get a high draft pick and maybe get a real difference maker, probably at receiver or tight end or something like that, maybe even offensive line. But, the goal is always to win the games. As Herman Edwards said, you play to win the game. So that's what we're going to try to do. If you don't remember much about 2008, that was the year that the Lions went 0-16. Really, really bad. Ended up drafting Matthew Stafford, obviously, and still haven't been great since then. But they've had a couple runs. I think they made a couple playoff games with him. That's kind of a little bit besides the point. But if I remember correctly, the Raiders may have won 4 games this year. They ended up drafting, I think, top 7. They might have had a top 5 pick. Got Darren McFadden out of Arkansas. So a pretty big bust, missing on 2 guys, top 10, especially when you're a struggling franchise. Really, really tough to overcome that. Let's see. This is also the year that the Browns went 10-6 with Derek Anderson at the helm. Obviously didn't make the playoffs. And they drafted Brady Quinn, Notre Dame. Another big bust. Not a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft class, I gotta say. Looking through them, just to give you a brief rundown, they had Brady Quinn, obviously Jamarcus Russell, Trent Edwards was in the 2nd round. There's a couple other guys here and there scattered about the league. But, nothing really good there. All in all, I think I remember this being a fairly poor draft class in terms of solid NFL starter, like depth. But, there is some top end Hall of Fame talent throughout this draft. Just even in the 1st round, you got Adrian Peterson, Calvin Johnson, Patrick Willis, Joe Thomas, Joe Staley. Think about who else is in there. Later on in the draft, you got Marshall Yanda. Do the running back drill here with Michael Bush, the bruiser guy. Sorry about that. Just had to take a little bit of a drink of water. Recording this pretty late at night. It's around 11 o'clock here. Just got done watching the Clemson and Notre Dame game. Big upset by Notre Dame, obviously. Don't think they would have won if Trevor Lawrence hadn't been out, but the guy for Clemson, DJ, I screwed his name up, Ungavalola, he looks legit. Honestly, he reminds me of, watching Jamarcus Russell back in the day when he was playing at LSU. Wasn't a huge college guy back then. I'm only 25, so I watched him a little bit, but wasn't huge into college football until the past few years. But he looks legit, big guy, huge arm. You see some of his highlight throws are crazy. But yeah, let's go in here trying to get the gold so we can get Michael Bush. Probably gonna put these attributes into carry if I had to guess. don't like the guys that fumble a lot, but I know myself, I'm pretty aggressive, tend to fumble, throw picks. But I think it's worth it, especially when you're lacking a little bit of talent. You really got to take some chances when you're playing on offense. You may have noticed I have the music off. I didn't mention that already. Just got to be safe with it. I'll turn it back on for the games when they have the EA intro. I don't know if anything would be copyrighted or anything like that there. I'll be looking for some background music, hopefully, that I can put over this so it's not just a bunch of dead air, but we'll see. Of course, commentating, if you don't remember, you've got Al Michaels and John Madden. I think this was one of the last years that they did it. I don't remember when they switched. I think it might have been 2010. But great presentation, I mean, you look at this game for a 13, 14-year-old game. I mean, it looks really, really good. I mean, this could compete. It's obviously not the newer player models, but super smooth, real crisp. And you can see this little logo on the Raiders midfield, and there's like nothing there. It's like, that's a sharp image right there. It's pretty good, This old game, you can play at this high graphic levels. And encourage you, if you can find it, pick it up. You got even a halfway decent laptop, you're going to run this thing super, super well. Oh, all right, got one more. I don't know if you can purchase it. I bought this on Amazon, digital copy a few years ago. I think it's not on Amazon anymore. So it might be, what do they call that? I can't remember the word, but it's when people don't renew trademarks for a while. It becomes kind of, not public domain, but, it doesn't really technically cost money to buy it anymore, similar to like a sim golf. If you ever want to play that, that's also available for free online, no purchase, and you can own it legally. Pretty dope. Making use of the highlight stick here, one of the best features in the game. I don't think it went out of bounds there, game. Oh, that's a touchdown. Let's go. Hopefully I remember to cut some of this out. Don't have anything else great to say at the moment. Just racking up the points, trying to get the gold. Spin move. Alright, should be the last level here. Hopefully we can get the gold, get those 7 extra points. Yeah, I really wish they brought this type of thing into the newer Maddens. I haven't really played. Oh, come on, get into the end zone, Bush. Played a little bit of 2019. Not very impressed. I don't think I've enjoyed one, honestly, since like 25. And that's really only because you can import drag classes from NCAA 14, which in and of itself is a great game. I haven't played that all the time. But, it's kind of unfortunate. It's such a big company like EA. I mean, this game is like legitimately fantastic. And I think it's probably mostly due. I think this was the last Madden game. Let's go. On the PS2 and original Xbox development cycle. So, they definitely dumped a lot of their resources into it. And this is pretty much just a straight port. There's some differences here, but for the most part, it basically is just what you could find and pick up for a PS2 or Xbox. Maybe Xbox 360. I never owned one, so I don't actually know. Touchdown, let's go, Michael Bush. So, yeah. We're going to wrap this episode up by putting some points into... Let's do... Yeah, we could work on break tackle later. Let's do carry, If we're going to use him quite a bit, which I'm planning to, we definitely want to make sure we're not fumbling the ball. So, we're going to wrap up this episode. I'm going to sim through the preseason. I'm going to turn off injuries just because I want everybody to come into the season, make sure that they're healthy. And you see how fast this game runs. Crazy. We'll go ahead on to the regular season where we face the Lions. Take a look at the matchup. 85 overall, 83 offense, 86 offense, 88 defense, 83 defense, and both have pretty good special teams. They have Jason Hanson, who one of the better kickers in the league even back then. I think he's still kicking at a high level right now. So that'll do it for this episode. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you think our chances for the season are. What's our projected record? Who's going to be the player of the year for the Raiders on offense and defense? Who do you think is going to take the division? And just general feedback. Again, like I said, this is my first ever YouTube video, so appreciate any feedback. Just thought I'd try my hand at it. Given that we're dealing with what we are in the world today, and having a ton of fun playing this. Figured why not share it to the world. So that being said, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.